Welcome to the Her Voice Shines podcast, where we celebrate the power, brilliance, and resilience of women everywhere. I'm your host, Shawnti Washington. Join us as we share inspiring stories and insights from extraordinary women who have found their voice and are making a difference. Together, we'll create a ripple effect, illuminating the path to visibility and empowerment. Let's break barriers, shatter ceilings, and lift each other up. In each episode, we dive deep into the journeys of women who have turned their challenges into triumphs and their dreams into reality. Whether you're looking for motivation, guidance, or a community that understands your journey, you're in the right place. Stay tuned and remember, let your voice shine. And just like that, I'm back like I never left. It's your fabulous host, Shawnti Washington, streaming from the beautiful city of Houston, Texas. On Be Extra today. Why? Because we have a lady that's from my part and neck of the woods, Houston, Texas. Always good when we have good hometown energy coming to you. But we do not take a long time around here. You know our drill. We have our guests come to the stage. Tell us their name, where they're streaming from. I already told you, she's gonna tell you again. And we jump right into this story. Without any further waiting time, here's my very beautiful guest for today.
Hello, my name is Shawnti Refuge, aka Journal Bay. I am in Houston, Texas. I'm a certified mental health coach, mental health advocate, keynote speaker, and author. And I help women to release that baggage, heal, and live their purpose driven lives with the tool of guided journaling.
Oh, Shanti, I love it. I absolutely love it. And before we even kick it off, because we got some questions about this journal, I just want to let you know I'm a journal girl. I feel like when I left corporate in 2021, it really took a hike when I started to walk out this entrepreneur side. I tell people like I can't go without I can't go without some kind of journaling. I just feel like when I put the pen to the paper, it don't hit the same like when you're trying to type it in and put it just does not hit the same. I'm gonna let you get into that though, but I'm just telling you, I'm a journal girl, so I'm happy you're here so we can talk about this because we need to really talk about it in our community and how they can be such a great release. So I just want you to kick us off in how you started your journey in mental health, and really, really, what was something that made you want to go into that space for healing, really.
Sure. Well, I can say that I had no intentions on doing this and being here, but God said otherwise. Back in 2018, I had a nervous breakdown, and I didn't know at the time I was having a nervous breakdown. I just knew that I lost all control of my emotions. Like they were just coming, and I couldn't stop them. And it was like crying, cussing, withdrawal, depressed, angry. It was like a roller coaster. And I was like, okay, I'm ready to get off this ride after a month of going through that. And I went to a doctor. I went to my primary care doctor. And I told her, hey, something wrong with me. Am I going through menopause? I shouldn't be. I'm too young. And I told her what was going on. And she was like, oh, no, you sound like you're a little depressed. Let me give you some antidepressants. And I'm like, no, I don't want any antidepressants because I know what antidepressants do. They shut you up, basically. They don't heal you. They just make you be quiet. And my goal was to find out why I was having these emotional outbursts that I couldn't control, why I was acting crazy. And eventually that led me to a therapist, my third therapist. I was apprehensive about going to therapy because, I had this ingrained in my brain that Black people don't go see therapists. They don't go see psychiatrists. They don't do none of that. And that was because I never knew anyone to. But come to find out, yeah, we go. We just don't talk about it. So I went to my third therapist and she actually helped me. She taught me about guided journaling. And what guided journaling is basically you're answering prompts. So she would give me prompts and I would answer the questions. And just by answering those questions, I was able to dig deep into what my issues were and come to find out I had some trauma going on that I didn't even know about. I had heard of trauma, but I didn't think I was going through any or had went through any, but I did. I learned that I was a victim of child abuse. I learned that being a teen mom was traumatic. I didn't know that back then. I didn't know that. Now I know it. I had my first child when I was 14. And then I got arrested when I was 16. So all of those things were traumatic and it built up. It was inside of me and I wasn't talking about it. I wouldn't, because I didn't know. And eventually, after like almost 20 years of bad decision making, bad relationships, all that stuff I had stored inside of me, it exploded like a volcano, literally. And that's what led to my nervous breakdown in 2018. So through guided journaling, I was able to, get to the root of my issues, and it actually helped me. How I got into the business, when I did the guided journaling, I was like, okay, I'm feeling better. It took about a year and a half for me to actually start feeling better. And when I did, I said it out loud. I said, oh, I'm feeling better. And I heard God tell me, He was like, okay, you're feeling better. Somebody else needs this. And I'm like, wait, what? And he said, I need you to help others. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to listen. So I created the same guided journals I made for myself because I had one for each issue. One thing I learned in therapy, you don't write in the same journal about all your issues. You have a different journal for a different issue. And so I made 26 guided journals, and I named them Shawnti Refuge journals. So each one has a different topic. So in 2021, I came out and said, hey, y'all, I was going live. I set up my website and let people know, who I am, what I do. I would go to vending events where I could vend, and I would tell my story and the story behind the guided journals. And then I had one person tell me, you need to quit hiding behind those journals, people need to hear your story. And I'm like, I'm not telling all these people my business. But I was voluntold to speak at an event because one of the speakers didn't show, and that was my first opportunity to speak. And when I did, I did not realize how many people I had reached. And from there, I kept getting invitations to speak. And then people started asking me, do you coach? I was like, no, I ain't no coach. I'm not qualified to do that, but apparently I was and am. So I started coaching people, and now I host journaling workshops. I do support groups. I do one-on-one coaching. I do group coaching. You name it, I do it, and I do it with guided journaling. So that's how Shawnti Refuge Journals was born.
Look, girl, I'm here for it. I am, because it's definitely something about how your own healing can be a ripple effect, right?
Hmm.
What needs to be
Yes.
put into the earth. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, when I was thinking about it, I probably did my biggest set of self help work in 2020
Mm.
during the pandemic when everybody else was chasing masks. I was in these
Hmm.
walls digging, Junty. I'm talking about
Hmm.
digging out of darkness, digging out of self work, digging things out, right? And it was
Yeah.
very interesting how I had this kind of, I would say, dynamic with hiding in the shadows. Knew I had all these great things to say and do, but couldn't find a way to weave them into the world and really stand as worthy. So that was the work that I was doing in 2020, not knowing that that would be the key to my freedom. That will
Right.
be the key to this platform. That will be the key to me. And it's really a thing when I'm so passionate about this self work. I'm like, that's what my brand is. I know it looks like podcasts and this and that, but it's really the self work that I put in that's come to fruition and it's going
Hmm.
to heal. So I'm so happy you talked about it in a way that's so transparent, because I tell people all the time, I say this almost for every podcast, and I go to the back and I let y'all talk, I just be saying hallelujah. Be saying, thank you, Jesus. Seriously, because when I hear a woman go through some things and not get all the way burned in the fire,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
come out of doing this thing, it really, really, truly brings me great joy. But in that segment, you said that in 2018, you had the nervous breakdown and
Hmm.
your emotions were flying everywhere. I'm sad that it had to get to that point, but it was necessary. We know sad,
Very.
it's just
Hmm.
emotion, right? It's emotion, but it was definitely necessary because we're
Right.
here. But were there signs before? Because this is why I like for people to kind of recognize some signs before they have to get to the point to it's already a nervous breakdown. Did you notice it? Now that you can look in hindsight, is there anything that was like, if I would have known what I know now, I maybe could have caught it before it got all the way to the nervous breakdown? Because some people don't even know the signs.
I would have to say no.
No, you
If I did have signs, I probably was ignoring them, and I was
mhm.
good at ignoring. That day I had the nervous breakdown. It was a Sunday, and I woke up like normal on a Sunday morning. I just felt like I was in a funk. And I was like, oh, maybe my cycle's starting or something, because normally that's what happens. You know how we act when we're about to start. So I thought that's what it was, but it just kept getting worse and worse and worse every day, and until I just went and that was it. So no, I didn't have any noticeable signs. I think my personality before the nervous breakdown, I thought that was my personality. Apparently it wasn't. I was one who never showed emotion anyway. The only emotion that you would get out of me is maybe me being mad. Like if happy, you wouldn't know it. I had RBF on lock, honey. You would not know what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, nothing. So no, I probably was ignoring it
Mm,
until I couldn't anymore.
mm. Until you couldn't anymore.
Hmm.
Um, the other part that I mean, and I learned something about this. So I'm going to take this back. You talked about putting different things in different journals, right?
Hmm.
And I can see how that can be helpful because that journal that I just showed you, Miss Shawnti, it got everybody. It got he got everything in there. He got all kind. And I'll be filming through the page. I'll be trying to fold the page. Okay, this is for the house. Then I try to fold the page over here. This is for what I'm speaking on for myself. I got to fold. This is my son's stuff. I got little pages and I'm gonna take all this stuff and separate it.
Separate.
Because I mean, like I said, I'm getting to a point to where I am journaling, but you just gave me a whole different light in doing it in a way that is separate because I think that will help me be more organized and be more clear on the things
Hmm.
that I'm writing because I got everybody named mama stuff in that journal there, and it's overloaded. And that's the one that I just started really for this year. So thank you for sharing that. And I actually just produced what I think I was just partner with someone who I think I just produced what's a guided journal just literally like 2 days ago. It,
Yes.
it literally just went up. It'll probably be approved today at a publisher. And when I was doing this, because they told me their vision and what they were looking to do with this journal, at first it was just pages. And I was just
Hmm.
like, well, why not? Let's do a theme per month. Let's make it 12 months and do a theme per month and have them reflect on something as it
Yes.
relates to this whole thing. And it
Hmm.
changed me too, because as I was producing it, and God He's so good to me. I'm telling you, this is how my life works. It's like a puzzle. Like the fact that I just did that 2 days ago and that you here, it's no coincidence. He
Yeah.
don't play with
Nope.
me
Not
like
at
that.
all.
He
Yeah.
never does. Okay. And when I was going through that, I was like, huh. I mean, if people could stop and take the time and just answer these questions that seem so small, Miss Chauncey, it reveals so much.
Yeah.
It reveals
It
a lot.
does. Stuff that we weren't even thinking about. Yep. It,
Stuff that
it
we
just
were not even
comes.
thinking about. So,
Hmm.
in doing that, I know how your work is very valuable. So, I want to, of course, give you your roses today and thank you for
Thank
what you do
you. Thank
because
you.
there's so many people in our community that just don't deal with it. They don't do the question
Yes.
like you said, and you said something in that thing. You said, "Oh, don't tell the people your business." We
Yep.
know that we know that in our community you don't go talking to these people about this, that, and the third. You don't trust them. But I
Yes.
want you to go back to that, and I want you to tell somebody who may be in a position and hearing all this stuff that they tell us, don't do this, don't tell your business. You need to give them a war cry and tell them why it's necessary that they go through the process.
Absolutely. People from our generation, we were told what goes on in the house stays in the house. Meaning, don't you go tell nobody your business because all they're gonna do is, take it and gossip, blah blah blah. They're gonna do it anyway. But when you are stopping yourself from getting the help that you need, a lot of times we run to our family and our friends for support, and that's not your support system. I hate to break it to y'all. It's not. Your support system is going to be someone who you don't know, who has gone through what you've been through, and you will be able to see what it looks like on the other side if you come on over and start that healing process. And that's what I had to learn too the hard way, because yes, I used to keep everything to myself, and that was part of why I had the nervous breakdown. I wasn't talking about anything. I just suppressed, oh, I don't care. It don't matter. Whatever. But all the time it was back here in the back of my mind, and sometime it came up to the front of my mind where I couldn't even control what I was saying or doing. And that is, you don't have to do that. You don't have to, whatever it is you're going through, you don't have to do it alone. Just find someone who is able to help you, not your mama, not your good cousin, your good girlfriend. Those aren't the people unless they are qualified to help you to get through that process. That's different. But I still wouldn't go to my, it's always going to be someone you don't know. It's going to be, someone like me who will, say, hey, girl, I've been there, I've done that, I did this. And, let me show you what I did to get through it. So you can see that it is possible. Healing is very much so possible. But you might feel like you're alone. You might feel like, oh, nobody else has gone through this because I felt the same way. But that is a lie. We all go through some things. It's just that a lot of us don't talk about it. But when you have someone like me, I talk about it. I tell all my dirty secrets. I don't have no more skeletons in my closet because I want you to see, you're not your past. You are not what happened to you. You're not what they say about you. And it's up to you to believe that and want to get the healing that you deserve, because we all deserve to be healed. But it's only if you want to, and you have to do the work.
Yeah, you know what, and we deserve it, and that doing the work part is so important. And I remember this from the first segment when we talked about it. You said that it took about a year and a half
Hmm.
for you to start, feeling happiness or starting to get whole, basically. And that's
Yeah.
what people have to understand. It's not a light switch on and off. Like you don't go in there, oh, I'm happy after one meeting with the person.
Ah.
It's not going to shake. So that part of doing the work is staying the course, right? Because
Yes.
in a year and a half, it may take people 5 or 2 or 3. We don't
Yes.
know. It just depends. We don't have a certain time parameter on our healing.
Exactly. Exactly. It's
Yeah,
not, we're so used to microwave, and everything can't be microwaved, including your healing. It cannot be.
it cannot be, because I feel like as life changes, we don't know the next level of trauma, right? So healing is a
Exactly.
continuous journey. And I'm
Exactly.
finding out, because I get healed for one thing, I feel whole with one thing, but then here comes life throwing a wrench and life doing what life does, right? And I still need
Life.
life. Those mechanisms to make sure that I'm intact with my healing as I go forth in whatever this journey has for me. I don't think we realize how important it is as life shifts, that we still get those pieces of help, that reflection, and all those things. So thanks for sharing that, Shawnti. Now, when I asked you about success, when we looked at the intake form, you talked about what success means to you. And I like to ask this question because one of the whole idea of this platform is for us to show up as we are, right?
Hmm.
And your story may be the one that reaches, not necessarily me or the next woman. That's why I say I want people to tell it how they tell it, and whoever they are graced and called to reach, that's where they're gonna be graced and called to reach. I want you to tell me about success, because you said already that it's not about financial gain, and
No.
you gave out some pointers. I believe you mentioned freedom and alignment, and some of those things. So can you talk about success from your perspective? And I really feel that you are acting in success, right, based on your healing and putting it into the world. To me, that's a form of success. But I want you to put it in your words and tell us about success. I can't see you anymore. I don't know if you can
Oh,
see.
I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure we got to get your face on here, Miss Johnson, with these gems you dropping. So go and tell these people about success, and I want you to talk about that.
Success is not financial to me. When we hear the word success, we think status and money and power, whatever that means to you. But to me, success is being put in a position to live free. That's success to me. Living in freedom, not hiding, and being unapologetic and authentic about what we're going through, and being able to help others, because you're only as successful as the people around you, right? So, if I'm in a position where I can help someone to get to a place where they need to be, not financially, but you know what I'm saying, mentally, then that's success to me. If I'm able to help one person per day, that's my thing. I have to help one person per day at least. That's my minimum. If I don't help one person, then I'm not successful that day. So that's my measure of success, is to help someone, to pour into someone, to make someone, have someone to change their mindset and to think differently from what they're used to, because we have a lot of stuff that we have to unlearn, unfortunately. But what we learned back then, we didn't know any better because the people who taught us didn't know any better. So what worked for them back then don't work for us today. So we have to unlearn those old habits, those old thought processes, and we have to, it's like a whole new like being in kindergarten again, having to learn all over again the things that we were taught. So success to me is me, living in my purpose, which I'm doing, and living free, which I'm doing, and helping people. That's my level of success. It's not always about money. And it never was about money for me because I said the money gonna come regardless. As long as I'm serving my purpose and walking in my purpose, it's gonna come. I don't even worry about that. Success is me knowing that I'm helping someone, that I'm reaching someone, I'm making someone think, differently than they used to, and to show them there's a better way and healing is possible. That's my love. That's my success.
I love it. And I made me reflect when you said this about, some of the things that work for our ancestors in the past just doesn't work for us. And I remember when I wrote my first book, I talked about that, really some things that, I heard from my great grandmother, my grandmother, whatever, that was just relevant for their time. My great grandmother, God rest her soul, was born in 1921, I believe. And I
Mm.
had a relationship with her until I was about 21, until she passed away. So I had a long time in my life, and my grandmother's still alive. And I wrote about that in my book, about some of the psychological things that we have to do to get away from that. But
Yeah.
I'm also too reminded, as a mother of a son that's 7, about to be 8. I'm always kind of, I'm like, because baby, if I was a child now, it just wouldn't, and I always think about that in his walk with life and mental health, all these
Mm-hmm.
things, because it's just so different. So one of the things that we can do as a community, and you can of course chime in, is making sure that we're not putting our beliefs of what could have worked in the
Yes.
80s and 90s on these babies that was born. My son was born in 2017. You know what I mean?
Yes, I understand because I have a 4-year-old. We just got my great niece, so she lives with us now, and these aren't the same set of kids we had when my youngest child is 21, and the way that I parented her is not definitely not the same way I'm parenting this 4-year-old. They two different. This little girl is. I can't use my old tactics. I used to use scare tactics and intimidation and. Baby, this one don't go for that, and she is more emotional. So she craves hugs and kisses, and I have to pour into her. We say affirmations in the
Mhm.
mirror. We do all of that, so it's totally different.
It's funny too, because like I try to do the fear thing too. It don't work in my house either.
Mm-mm.
How we better sit. We used to have.
Yep, nope, that don't work.
I try. No, look, because I try with my boy. And he goes, "Mom, are you stressed?" I said, "Now wait a minute."
Baby, these kids are more in tune with their emotions.
I like to fall on the floor when that boy asked me that, because here I am trying to tell you better sit down and do it with some force. And he's like, "Now wait a minute, what's going on with us?"
At least he had the capacity to ask.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't even. I would. I'm an overgrown woman. I wouldn't even do it with my parents. I just take the blow a little bit and kind of, I'm still not even there yet. These kids are just, they got it just more than what we had. So, you
Right? Our
know,
parents used to look at us and we knew what that look meant. No, not today. These children, no. And see, she heard me talking about her.
hey girl, you are welcome here. I know you got your great aunt over there. I know she pouring love on you. I am too. Y'all are our future, and it's so important that we pour into these babies, because there's so many things in this world that's telling them what they're not, or showing them what they should,
Yes.
and it's
Yes.
so important for that pour. And I always advocate for that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so happy, Miss Shunta, that you have her, because a lot of these babies don't have no strong pillars in their life. They don't
Yes.
have people that's rooted. And for her to have you is truly, truly a
Thank
blessing.
you.
Now, I want to ask you this about the services. I know you do a wide range of things. I know you speak. I know you do
Mm.
some form of coaching. But I want people to have a good, healthy measure of really how they can reach out to you, and then really a little bit more in depth about those services. I think particularly the coaching, because sometimes people won't raise their hand for that.
Yep, they
I'm in a
don't.
stage in my life where I can afford not to have a coach. I got to have somebody depositing it to me. But I want you to talk about those services a little bit more, and really how they can find those.
My services include I do one-on-one coaching. I have my coaching program is called Staying Stuck Ain't Cute. So the purpose of the coaching, whether it's one-on-one or group, is to help you get unstuck from whatever you're stuck on. Stuck on a past relationship, can't get over it. Stuck at a job, and you just sitting there wasting away. Whatever you're stuck on, that's what I help you get unstuck from. I also do support groups, peer-led support groups through Sharewell. I host every Wednesday, and we talk about different topics. And yes, we are journaling. And I also do a pro session on Thursdays where we are talking about Unstuck. We that was a 10 week. We're on week 5. No, we're on week 6 now. Yesterday was week 5, so we're going into week 6. And then I do workshops because a lot of people I didn't realize did not know how to journal. So I do journaling workshops. I do it all. I speak. You can I have self-paced courses for those who want to do it on their own but still have that support. I do self-paced courses. If you go to my website, ShawntiRefuge.com, then you will see all the offerings I have. And if you want to collaborate or book me to do something, you can find all that there on my website, ShawntiRefuge.com.
Yes, and especially, I mean, she can help you, but especially if you're in this Houston area, reach out to Miss Shanti. I cannot stress to you guys how important mental health is. We have so much going on in the news and the
Mhm.
politics. You know, it's a crazy walk out here. The cost of living is just so high. There's so many triggers. There's just
Yes,
so many triggers that can just a little shift can really
yes.
have a really big impact on your mental health. So I know you may be walking around thinking like I don't have the time, but you really can afford not to check in on that. It's something that's going to fuel you. It's something that you need to do on a routine basis to keep you armored, I should say, in the times that we're living in. And I really do mean that. So thank you, Miss Shanti. Now, I want to ask you this question. I don't get to ask it all the time, but I tell people to imagine their 80th birthday. And every time I ask this question, I have to go back and look at my list to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do because this is real. Because my grandfather just celebrated his 80th birthday in 2024, and
Oh,
we had a
that's
big
a
celebration
blessing.
for him and everything. So, and I could imagine this room, and I've seen all these people sharing all these stories about my grandfather, and all these people reaching out and pouring out about the publication we did. It really touched me because it made me feel like, am I doing the work that I need to do? So if God graces me to see 80, that is the response of the work that I put into the earth. So I think about it all the time. So I want you to imagine your 80th birthday. And I don't know what y'all got going on. I don't know where y'all live. Y'all don't know if y'all got the fish, the shrimp, the vegan. I don't know what kind of food y'all got. I don't know who's singing, dancing. We don't know. But I just want you to, number one, imagine the room. And then number two, what are you hoping that people are saying, not only about Shanti, the mental health advocate, but Shanti, the woman?
Ooh, my 80th birthday, I already know my babies are gonna stand up there and say how proud of me they are and how I have changed because they have seen the bad Shanti and they've seen the good Shanti. So they will be able to, testify to how my transformation has not only helped myself but helped our family. We've reconnected. There was a time that, we didn't have a relationship, me and none of my children. We did not have a relationship at all, but through my healing journey, I was able to get my stuff together and go back and get my kids and reconnect with them. So, people, my family, my mom, she'll say, she proud of me, but I don't buy her nothing if she's still here when I'm 80. Um, and I know my room is going to be purple and silver and white because that's my favorite color, purple, as you can see. And I am going to have one of these big old royalty chairs that I'm sitting in. I'm still gonna be walking. I'm walking. I'm not, having no push thingy, little cane thing. Nope, no wheelchair. I'm walking. People gonna tell me not to walk, but whatever. I'm gonna still be driving. So they're gonna say I'm stubborn and I'm hard headed, but they're proud of me and they're proud of my growth and proud of the legacy that I am leaving for my family.
Love it. Absolutely beautiful. I am praying, Miss Shunta, that you make it. But I mean, for me, it's a very aligning thing for me because it keeps me on track to make sure that I am doing what I need to do in order to someday see that goal. So it's something that I play with often. But we have actually reached the point in the show where we are queuing for final thoughts. It's been good. It's been natural. You have dropped gems. I have truly enjoyed you being here with
Thank
me.
you.
I don't take it lightly, but I want to cue over to you because this is the part in our show where I tell our guests, give us something to leave this space, some very good parting words, really something that captures the essence of you. So I'm going to let you have your final thoughts and we'll be back to close the show.
Thank you. My final thoughts, and this is what I tell everyone I encounter. I don't care if I've never met you before. My words to you are: you are powerful, you are strong, you are worthy, and you belong. Whether you believe it or not, you do. We're all here for a purpose and for a reason. We weren't just, dropped out the sky just to take up space in a bad way. We all have something to give back. And you deserve to, take up space in a good way with your chest out and in confidence, knowing that, you're here for a reason. So don't let your past or what other people are telling you let you pave the way to your greatness. You deserve it. We're all here. We're all great, whether we see it or not. I can look at somebody and see it in them, like, you matter. You're great because you are, and it's up to us to believe it for ourselves. And it takes time. It takes practice. It takes work for us to gain that confidence, gain that high self-esteem, that high self-worth. Because again, we were not put on here to just survive. We were put on earth to thrive. And I hope that whoever hears or sees, this episode knows that you are worthy and you are deserving. So get out here and thrive like you're meant to be.
I love it. And we are all great. I really hope that each of you believe that. And even if you don't believe it now, I hope that one day you get to that point, you will eventually see it. Okay.
Yeah.
So to everyone who's joined in, let me say just thank you. You guys know I never take it lightly for any of my guests or my listeners to spend any time with me. So thank you. And I'll be really back in no time with another amazing guest on the Her Voice Shines podcast. Until then, let your voice shine. And miraculous things happen when you do that. And I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. We'll be back next time.